Well, it happened again. For the third time in the past 5 years, my day job has disappeared in an instant. On YouTube, I love making automotive and adventure videos, but my 9 to 5 for most of the past 16 years is actually making video game promotional trailers. No, I'm not kidding. I'm going to open the vault and show you the crazy stuff I've been fortunate enough to be involved in over those 16 years. I'll talk about being laid off, the struggles it brought, and how I made it to the other side. I don't want to take one more second of your time before I say that this video is about hope. I hope to inspire you, hopefully make you laugh, and not feel bad. There is always a path forward. There is always hope. I don't need to be afraid, and you don't need to be afraid either. And for those interested, I'll conclude this video with some of my future plans for this YouTube channel. My intention is not to rip on the video game companies who've laid me off, but considering how many layoffs are happening right now, thousands and thousands at this point, I think it's important for us all to share our stories and how we got through these times. Back to the video. How I started my career in video games. Jump back to 2007. I'm a recent college graduate working at a small video production company making very little money. I get a call from a buddy who was at my first TV job way back in the day. He says, "Jason, drop what you're doing and apply for a job that just posted at Nintendo." Yes, that Nintendo. I apply and magically get the job, spending the next nearly 7 years working on hundreds, if not thousands, of trailers for Super Mario Brothers, The Legend of Zelda, Donkey Kong Country, my favorite, Pikmin, and a whole bunch of others. Want proof? Here is my dorky face on stage at E3 2011. We video editors like to sneak our names and faces into videos whenever we can. Nintendo was an exciting but tough place to work. 50-hour work weeks, I think, were the norm. It could get up to 70 or more. And in 2014, just being kind of worn down a little bit and deciding, you know what, I'm missing way too much time with my wife. I'm missing too much time with my friends. At this point, I'm a dad. I have one daughter, my daughter Marley, and I'm like, I need to leave this job. And so I did. And that was the only time I left a job in the video game industry at a time of my choosing. But it's still a great experience, and I have some lifelong friends from my time there. Layoff number 1. After I decided to leave Nintendo, within 3 weeks of starting to apply at a few places, I found a job at Wargaming Seattle. This was a small little studio literally across the street from Nintendo, which got awkward at times. The game we were working on actually never got released, but I still got to do some pretty awesome projects in the 4 years I worked there. May 24th, 2018 is a day I'll never forget, and a day that definitely changed my life. I had just gotten back from a mini bike race. Actually, there's a video about it on the channel. It was the first one I did, and I was still very sore from it. And yeah, there's a surprise all hands meeting. You guys, if you've ever been in any of those, they're not fun. Well, usually they're not fun. But we're all sat down and we don't know what's going on. And then the CEO walks in and is like, "Oh, the CEO's here." And he says, "Effective immediately, you are all out of a job. The game you're working on is canceled." I had never been fired and I had never been laid off before, so it's safe to say that this knocked me on my butt. At this point, my wife and I now have our 2 daughters, and daily life is very expensive in the Seattle area. And at this point, Jason Explains Things is up and running, but it started to kind of leak its way into the videos that I was going through some tough times.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Jason Explains Things. So as you know, winter is coming. I personally have been getting ready for winter by steadily increasing my intake of Oreos and bourbon, and it's been doing me a lot of good.
That was meant to be funny, but looking back on it now, it's definitely not funny, and it kind of bums me out because I was suffering from some depression at that point. I was missing my family because actually we needed to relocate, and I was working in the new city we were moving to, but they couldn't be there yet because my wife had to wrap up her job and the kids had to wrap up school. So I was by myself. But we made it through. The family moved to Central Washington. We sold our old house and bought our current one. My wife got a great job and still works at the same place today. I found a job outside the video game industry doing photography and marketing, but unfortunately, things would get hard again very soon. Essential versus non-essential. It's now the fall of 2019. I've been working for a business doing all their marketing content for a year now, and I decide now's the time to start my own video production company. We had a few great months. My business partner and I did videos for an airplane company, wineries, a luxury home builder, and more. But the spring of 2020 came and all our work was deemed non-essential. The real nail in the coffin, though, was actually the Washington State travel ban, because that canceled our last really big project, which would have probably led to a bunch more work that could have sustained us into 2021. But it is what it is. And I'm now gonna jump ahead and skip forward a bit, because if I talk about this, I'm gonna get political. No one wants me to get political and hear me rant, so let's just keep going. But there is a video that I published back in 2021 about this experience that's probably worth watching if you're interested, and I'll link it in a card above. Layoff number 3. In September 2020, God throws me and my family a pretty awesome lifeline, and that is a 100% remote video editing job at Crystal Dynamics. And that's where I've been working up until 5 weeks ago. It was weird working at a place where you never met any of your coworkers in real life, but overall, it was good. Stable income, good people, can't complain. Unfortunately, most of the team I worked in were all let go together, again, 5 weeks ago. Gotta say again, with these surprise meetings, it's never a good thing when there is an unannounced, unscheduled Zoom meeting that you're called to come into, and the head of the studio is there along with the head of HR. It's not a good thing, just so you know. In my notebook, the moment I saw the attendees, I wrote this. Here we go, 9/20/23, God is good. Okay, you're out of work. What do? Having been through this several times, I now know things you should and things you 100% should not do. Do this. Create a routine. If you're like me, a routine makes everything better. Split your time between exercise, freelance work, volunteering, spending time with your family and friends, and of course, looking for a new job. Do not fall into pits. And what do I mean by pits? I'm talking alcohol, weed, substances that numb you, because once they wear off, everything is worse. Don't drink alone. Don't drink at 11 in the morning. Avoid pits. Pits suck. Do this. Lean on others. Reach out to your network of family, friends, and former coworkers. People are out there and they want to help you. Most of the jobs that I've ever gotten in my life have come from connections and for people that can vouch for people that can vouch for me. I'm trying to shoot a video here, you smoke. Also, if you're feeling down, call a friend that you trust. If you need help, ask for it. Do not think you're a loser. You can be the best worker in the history of the world and still get laid off. Layoffs almost always happen in mass. You just, speaking again from experience, you're just in the wrong department or the wrong office at the wrong time. Being laid off says nothing about yourself or your value as a person or as a worker. The sun's going down and I'm trying to get through this. Do this. Remember that things take time. And this one I have been telling myself a lot lately. Remember that finding a job or starting a business takes time. In my past experiences, it takes at least 3 to 6 months to find a new job. And of course, it can take a lot longer than that. Why I have hope. This is the part of the video where things are now going to get pretty personal about me. You do not have to believe what I believe, but if you're watching or listening, I appreciate you hearing me out. If the roller coaster of the past 5 years has taught me anything, it's 2 things. God exists, and I apparently am not done for. I'm going to reference notes here so I don't screw this part up. Here's what being a Christian is in a nutshell. Believing that God created everyone and has a plan for all of us. Life and existence are not an accident with no meaning. Every single person has value, and we all have a purpose. But we all screw up, and we all fail. See? That's great, that's staying in. But we all screw up and fail. And that failure hurts us and everyone around us. But there is hope and redemption in having a personal, direct relationship with Jesus. With his help and leadership, all things are possible. That's real freedom and security. You can't get through everything by yourself. This is something I really needed to hear, especially in 2020. You can't get through everything by yourself, and you never were meant to. Why God has chosen to protect me of all people from all sorts of crazy crap remains a complete mystery. All I can do is recognize that life is a gift, even on the days you get laid off. And be grateful for every good thing as it comes. Philippians 4:11 through 13. I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance, I have learned the secret to facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Are you still watching this? Because if you are, that's awesome. And I'm very surprised. Well, what's next for me? Frankly, I have no idea. My wife is still rocking her job, which is awesome and gives the family a good amount of stability. I myself have been LARPing as a successful YouTuber for the past month, just pumping out video after video after video, job hunting every week like I need to, but for the most part, I've been making videos because that's what I like to do. One quick cool story that I have to share with you guys about the last month. If you guys saw the 2024 Chevy Colorado Bison video that Chris and I did in California, I was not supposed to be at that event. I'd actually requested the time off from work to do it. I was told no, but then literally, I think within like 60 seconds of being laid off, Zoom meeting over, I am on my email, emailing the Chevy PR guy saying, hey, can I please get added into the event at the last second? And he said yes. Exactly 1 week from being laid off later, I'm in California at that event, driving a prototype pickup truck with one of my best friends, filming an awesome video, surrounded by other big, successful YouTubers and Instagram creators. And it was an amazing, surreal, awesome experience, a highlight of doing this channel in the past 6 years. It's like in the top 5 was that event. And I don't believe in accidents. On YouTube, we like to project success, but being real with you all, this channel is struggling. Views for that Chevy video and for most videos are not great. It makes money. It's been great as a side hustle for the past 6 years, but it's not a very stable way to pay the mortgage and pay the bills. But again, I do not believe in accidents. All of this, including this channel, my career for the past 16 years before that, all of it is part of a plan I am not in control of. And thankfully, I am not in control of it. I am extremely excited and a little anxious to find out what's gonna happen next. I usually end my videos by saying, don't forget to do it yourself. Today, I'm going to instead say, I can do all things through him that strengthens me. I can do all things.